It all started on a crisp, rainy fall day. I entered into my homeroom class, late like usual. My professor, Dr. Creepy, as I called him, wasn't in the mood for my tardiness on this day. He cleared his throat, which caused a rumbling sound louder than thunder. He caught my attention, along with the attention of all my fellow classmates. "Mr. Roderick, why are you always late to my class?" he blurted out aloud. I whispered underneath my breath, "Because I can't stand you, asswipe." My words weren't as silent as I thought, causing my classmates to laugh loudly. But they weren't the only ones who heard my disrespectful comment. Dr. Creepy did as well. I looked over my shoulder, only to spot him folding his arms and staring deeply into my eyes with a look of rage drawn onto his face. "What did you say, young man?" he questioned me in an instant. I shrugged my shoulders and slickly responded, "If your hearing were any good, you would have heard me, Dr. Creepy." My words caused nothing but silence to echo throughout the entire classroom. Every student's attention jumped back and forth from me back over to Dr. Creepy every few seconds. "What did you just call me?" he questioned me. I chuckled because I knew the question was rhetorical. However, Dr. Creepy didn't find my words amusing, not even the slightest. "Dr. Creepy is what I called you," causing him to glare at me. "This must be some sort of joke to you," he replied swiftly. "I'm giving you 2 weeks detention, beginning today," he added. I'm up in arms. I can't believe it. My slick mouth has gotten me into trouble yet again, causing the smirk to vanish from off of my face. Dr. Charles, I have basketball practice later today, and I can't miss it, I made clear. He chuckled at my words, as though I was a comedian and I had just told a joke, but what I said wasn't funny. I'll speak with Coach Murphy and explain to him that Liberty's High's most valuable basketball player won't make it for today's practice because of his blatant disrespect towards me. Now go have a seat, and maybe, just maybe, I'll reconsider if you can show me you have respect for me. I wanted to respond swiftly with a smart comment. However, I bit my tongue. I decided to take a seat in the back of the classroom next to my friends Cody and Brian. "Bro, you can't miss today's practice," says Brian. Once I sat down next to him, I agreed. "Trust me, I won't," I said. I kept my mouth closed for the next half hour as I noticed Dr. Creepy gazing over at me constantly. One time I spotted him just watching me intensely while smiling from ear to ear like some sort of clown. His smile bothered me. It was almost as if he were poking fun at me. But I know no matter what, I'm going to get the last laugh. I finished up my work. Well, Cody finished up my work for me, giving me enough time to relax and take a breather. My focus locked onto the clock just several feet above the head of Dr. Creepy. 4 minutes left until homeroom ends. Then 3, 2, now 1 minute to go. I may not wish amnesia on anyone. However, I'm hopeful Dr. Creepy has it and completely forgets about the fact that he had given me detention for today. He hasn't uttered a single word to me since our verbal spat earlier, and given he told me that he might change his mind about giving me detention, I'm hopeful that is the case. The school bell rang, and I stood up from my chair, hearing my heart race. I stood behind a group of students making their way towards the classroom exit. I followed them as I was in hot pursuit of exiting the classroom until I heard my name exiting from Dr. Creepy's mouth. I froze in my tracks as all of my fellow classmates exited from the classroom, including my best friends Cody and Brian. "Where do you think you're going?" asked Dr. Creepy, whose gigantic shoes began growing by the second. I turned to face him as the classroom doors suddenly slammed shut simultaneously. The loud back-to-back thuds grabbed my attention away from Dr. Creepy briefly as I heard footsteps rush over to me. I looked straight ahead, staring at yellow razor-sharp teeth and smelling a mouth that smelled worse than onions and garbage. I spotted a gigantic red nose hanging from off Dr. Creepy's face while a sinister smirk grazed his face. I froze in my position momentarily before I grew enough strength to begin backing away from him. Then suddenly, he started laughing like a clown, causing me to take a swing at his face with my closed fist. He dodged a would-be vicious blow like the Matrix. He laughed even louder as I began bawling out for help. I grabbed a hold of the door handle to exit the classroom, but the door wouldn't open up, no matter how hard I tugged on the door. I kicked and screamed even more for help as I felt a hand rest onto my shoulder. I turned to face Dr. Creepy, Mr. Clown, who continued giggling loudly. "It's too bad now you know my little dark secret," he said. "Since you know my secret, no longer can you live." My heart skipped 10 beats as Dr. Creepy's mouth opened widely to allow him to chow down on me like I was his lunch. And unfortunately for me, I was.